All right, we'll call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from our last board meeting. Anybody got any corrections that need to be made? Seeing none, then.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the regular board meeting minutes, August 12th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of our special board meeting, August 26th.
I move to approve the special board meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the special board meeting minutes of August 26th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. The next item of business is the approval of the general fund vouchers, 76,992 through 77,067. Wire transfers 192, triple lot 60 through 192, triple lot 97, and activity fund vouchers 9608 through 9613.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the general fund vouchers as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. The next section is our public comments. No public comments tonight. The next item is the spotlight on education.
Okay, so I asked Mrs. Rubel to come in, and I appreciate you coming in because I didn't want to talk about it because I felt like you and Mrs. Kaler truly deserve the recognition for it because it was. I know I've said this before from a parent perspective. I know I say that a lot, but it really was one of those days from a parent perspective. My daughter's in 7th grade, and it was a day that Mrs. Rubel and Mrs. Kaler pitched, and they not only pitched but then developed and implemented. So I'll let you speak to it. But it was I'll finish it with telling it was a phenomenal day. But you tell us about it.
I'll try to be quick. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for their support because this is something that, in my long years here, that some of you have actually been through. I think we needed to change because what orientation was prior is that we'd come in that Tuesday night from about 6:30 to 8 o'clock and the kids would get everything. And people were swimming, the kids were lost, they were scared more, the parents didn't know, and those of you who have been through it, it's just too much information. So with the blessing of Mr. Gillis, Mr. Peterson, and Mr. Ernst, we decided to tweak some things. And what it turned into was an entire day long of what we would call Camp Junior High. And the 7th graders came in and we had 50 out of 52 show up. And then we went through team bonding, so to speak. We had the STS members from the high school come in. 9 high school students came in and we divided the kids up into groups. And they asked them what they were scared about. We played little games to try to ease that transition. And then throughout the day, we took them on tours to the offices so they would know where to pay lunches, where to turn in their absence slips. We went over their Chromebooks, got a lot of paperwork signed, and probably the most beneficial part was we got to spend a little bit more time with the lockers. Because usually, as some of you know, it was like, okay, do it quick, I'll get out of here. And now it was, they had to open their lockers 6-7 times. And then we ran through a mock schedule. So at about 12:33, the bells went off and they went to first hour, had that 3-minute passing time, went to second hour. So they got used to where they were going. And basically, on Tuesday of last week when we started school, I could tell you that it worked. Instead of me out there like a traffic cop telling everybody this way and that way and that way, it was very minimal. And the lockers being new, I think we had a little bit more problems with that. Some of you probably heard from the kids. But, it helped. So once again, I thank all of you that gave us the support. Kate and I were just happy. Last Friday, we did a follow-up with the kids. We broke them into their groups again. And the STS members told us that none of the kids seemed to have any concerns, that they were happy, that it was a good transition. Of course, there's things that we want to improve for next year, But hopefully with everyone's support, we can continue this, and it was a great, great time. So thank you very much.
And one other,
Questions?
piece to it too is, I think, from watching my daughter go through it and watching the kids in the building that day, a lot of it, we had no 8th through 12th graders in the building, so that took out, a huge variable of anxiety for the kids coming into the building, and they transitioned and transitioned throughout the building and moved throughout the building without any other bodies, because it's a big difference with just 7th graders in the building and then compared to 7 through 12, all the entire student body over here. So that first day, you could see it, the anxiety level just wasn't as high as normal, in my opinion. And Mr. Rubel's right. I think there was definitely far more anxiety from our 8th through 12th graders with the lockers than there were with the 7th graders and the locker combinations and dealing with that. They just had the confidence of doing it. And as some of you probably all heard, they're working through that change. All of our students are working through those changes with new locks, and it's not easy for them, but they're learning how to do it. And it's nice to finally have lockers that you can just go and shut, and they don't just stay open and are available to anybody to stick their hands in or stick stuff in. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Rubel and Mrs. Kaler for their planning, because there was a lot of work. I was actually, when I heard about it, I thought, ooh, a whole day, that's a long time. I think we could probably do it in a half a day, but after watching it, a full day was fantastic. I thought there was nothing to be rushed. All the kids could come in and they were interacting with each other, and like I said, the anxiety was just gone. But there was a lot of planning that took place prior to that day. So I'd like to thank you and Ms. Kaler, because it was
fun.
I thought it was a huge success. I don't know, Ms. Kaler, if you have anything you wanted to add.
I would like to thank him as well. I just echo that, Mrs. Rubel wasn't kidding when she said the first day of school, she's got to be like the traffic cop in the middle school. She's my right-hand person down there in the middle school, and she's like having an assistant principal down there. And this really helped settle those things down, and the frantic, where's health, or where's FIED, or, there was none of that. They knew where to go, because we ran through it already.
Yeah.
And it was just a really nice activity for the day. I think the high school kids enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. And a lot of staff members came in on their own time that Tuesday, so I'd like to thank them, because when we were in the classroom for that 5 minutes, the teachers were all there. So the kids got a name with a face and a location, and it was just nice to see.
And even little things that seem silly, like Mrs. Peterson, Leanne Peterson, came in and ran them through the lunch line procedure, which really, from an adult perspective, it seems kind of silly. But 7th graders, they all these variables of anxiety, and to know what's going to happen during that time, I think helps out a ton. And she lined them up, and they went through their line, and so there were very little surprises, I think, on that first day for them. So I thought it was a great day for the 7th graders. So thank you.
No, thank you.
If you guys
I
have
had
any
a
questions.
child do it both ways.
Yeah.
So Sierra was a lot more calm coming in than Carly was, so that was good. The only maybe thing I would recommend is let parents know, like they came at 3:30 or was it 3 o'clock? I can't remember what time I got off. Is to let them know there's paperwork to do. But I thought, it said parents come at 3, so I was just planning to be at the meeting at 3. I didn't know that I was gonna have a line, and it got long there for a little bit to stand in. So just let them know that there's paperwork to do. It's not just coming and sitting down at 3. I think maybe parents would take off work a little bit earlier to get in here. So that, because I think a lot of your time was used up, because the line took extra 20-25 minutes to get done before everybody was in there. But I, for one, would have come earlier if I would have known I was gonna need to do some stuff.
If we sent the
earlier.
paperwork home, would that be better? Do you
Well, some of
think?
it did. I brought my meal stuff or a la carte items, but some people just forget that type of thing.
All right.
I'm
But-
sure it was more having to do with us collecting money for stuff.
Right.
That's what took a lot of time.
And maybe you could have a line that's just, if you need to put money into the food account, go to that line, and if you just need to
Yeah.
turn this in, you might move fast. I don't know, but I would just come earlier.
But I know if you can have, just like our experience at the elementary open house, having parents
You get
fill out
back.
the paperwork and keep it right there is so much better than
Send
when
it
it goes
out.
home and never comes back.
Right, yeah, because I talked to a couple moms who are like, where'd you get that? I'm like, it's in the packet that was in the mail. She's like, oh, so that's on the counter. So yeah, you get stuff back more. I just didn't expect that. so I didn't come
That's
earlier.
been nice.
No, these are the things that we need to hear because we didn't know what we didn't know about this.
Yeah, right.
I was just going through, like when I planned it, everything I wanted to let the kids know that I wouldn't have to do the first 2 days of school.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, from students' perspective, awesome. Yeah, just great. And even as a parent, that 2 hours, whatever we spent on that one night, I'm like, oh no, this isn't, they need to know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it as a parent perspective too, not to have to be here the 2.5 hours or whatever.
So we had staff come in beforehand, unpaid, to take care of all
Well,
this
I think we're gonna be paying them through summer school, actually.
Okay,
So I have
good.
an email hanging out there that.
What day was this? It was a
It
Tuesday?
was 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So the Tuesday
Tuesday
before.
before.
Yeah.
Before,
The day before the two in-service days.
And
It'll be
hopefully that-
interesting to see how that plays out, and I know calendar committee hasn't met,
Other districts are doing.
but school will start a ways before Labor Day this next year.
Heck, yeah.
Will it?
I'm assuming so, because we could start on the 1st and it's a Tuesday, and Labor Day is not until the next Monday.
Right, well, we'll just have to make those up. I think it's something that we need to do, and by that time, the majority of the kids are ready to be, they were
They're ready to be
excited to
back,
be
yeah.
here to see their friends,
Yeah,
and
right.
it was fun.
Yeah.
Instead of being nervous on their first
Yeah,
day.
and it was just, with having the cinnamon rolls, Penny did a great job.
Well, yeah, the cook staff came in
Yeah, the
too, so
cook
yeah,
staff.
everything good, it was
Yeah.
great.
And everybody was so helpful, because they knew that this was important.
And they're still wearing their t-shirts.
Yeah. And it was for the kids.
Yep, Mr. Larson made staff T-shirts, camp, junior high, camp day or
Yeah.
something, where everybody got to wear. And the STS kids had different colored ones on, and it was a great experience. It was very well done.
Kudos.
Okay, thank you.
No.
No, okay, so any other questions? All right. Well, thank you guys again for letting us do it.
Thanks, Mrs.
Thanks for doing
Thank
it.
you,
I'm gonna go home and make supper.
Have fun with that. We'll be there in about a half hour.
Only tacos for myself and Ivan, so it's not enough, because Ivan
Oh.
eats us.
So, Chris, we did the elementary one on Tuesday? Was that how we did it this year?
The first day of
The first day of
First day of
school.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our 3rd year of doing it that way, and it's been tremendous too. Just makes the first day of school just so much less stressful for everybody. It's sort of like we kind of slowly start into the year instead of
Yeah, it's
boom.
another.
It's same thing. Kids are calmer, staff is more relaxed. You get so many little questions and little things taken care of on that parent
Yeah.
day.
New students coming in. and-
Yeah, our last bus changes or questions about paperwork, whatever, and it's all taken care of. It's been tremendous too. Yeah.
If I could just share one thing from one of the parents, and I don't know the logistics of starting that, but in some households, the situation is you've got the older kids watching the little kids, and then school starts up for the older kids, and the little kids, they're left without a sitter. So I don't know if we can joggle things a little bit to do that ahead of time so that doesn't happen, but I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, it's one day though, they get, I was thinking to do it with the elementary, but it wouldn't work because there would be all the other kids here. So,
Yeah.
Always things to keep looking at and
Right.
finding ways to tweak it and improve it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
yeah.
All right, so then, move on to new business then, approval of Start College Now applications.
Okay, so this one's a little unique. With this one, with all the Start College Now applications, those applications come to the board, you guys look at them, then we decide, we give our kind of recommendation, then you guys decide to approve or not to approve. So this is the same thing, and I put the information in there. The only difference with this one is we received a grant, a special education grant, so I won't say the name of the student, but Patty Jacobchuk wrote a grant, and we actually received it, so this would be at zero cost to the district. Usually it's 75% district cost, and then 25% comes from the state. So in this scenario, it would be 0% cost to the school district. So, and I would, even without the grant, my recommendation would be to approve that one.
Okay, well then,
I move to approve the Start College Now applications.
Second?
it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the Start College Now applications. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business is purchasing of a van.
Okay, so this is the same grant. So I wanted to thank Patty Jacobchak, who wrote the grant. She wrote, there are a couple of different pieces of the grant, but it's a transition grant specifically for special education. As part of the grant, we received we have $25,000, no less than $25,000. So we have to spend at least $25,000 on transportation, which we have a student at it's called Project Search. It's when they get to a certain age, some of our ID population can go to this program that helps them transition into the workforce. And we've had one student since I've been here, and this is our second student in that program in Rice Lake. And it's, like I said, called Project Search, and they teach them vocational skills. So they're actually working, and then the goal is to get them employed once they leave. So the grant covered that cost, which is awesome, because it's not cheap to send kids to that school, but it's very beneficial. But then we also got, like I said, got the $25,000 for the vehicle. So the reason I put this on there is just to get approval for purchasing of the van. But the money is we haven't been awarded the money, but we already received the grant, and we'll have the money to buy another van, so that we'll have 3 vans in the district.
Awesome.
And a lot of the van use, just so you know, so when we have students that are a certain age, we try to get them out in the workforce. We've had kids at Nielsen's, we've had kids helping out at a local church, vacuuming. We have one student, I guess they wouldn't be transported by the van, so. But then we also use a van to go back. We have had students where we go back and forth between the elementary and the high school, where we have support staff transporting the kids if they're, vacuuming over at the elementary or doing jobs over there. We had one student working in the kitchen for an hour or two, so they needed transportation over there. So it definitely will get used. And when she was applying for the grant, we talked about what our needs were in the district, and that was one item that we thought we would definitely benefit from, as a new van in the district, or an additional van, I should say. So.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the purchasing of a van. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business is the approval of our staff hires.
So listed in the notes, the 3 individuals that are up for approval. We have Kristen Wallace, who as you recall, you guys approved for a 0.5 FTE music position at the elementary, and then the other half of her day would fill a 0.5 special education paraprofessional that we are in need of. Blaze Wood was the individual that was identified for the IT paraprofessional, so doing a lot of IT support with Mr. B. Osmondrud, Bo. And then the last one, part-time custodian, who Natasha Anderson, who's been subbing quite a bit in the district for the last 2 years, year and a half, been helping out, so she accepted that position over there.
All right.
I move to approve the new staff hires. Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the new staff hires. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business is the review of the school board policies.
Okay, so do you guys have any policies that you would like to discuss as a whole group?
I don't.
Cindy, you had a couple?
There's just a couple notes, but I can talk to you about them. One, there were a couple things that maybe changed as far as timing, since we're only one meeting after elections, that I think we need to push back. Like our jobs, I don't think we can do it as quick as we have done it with only one meeting.
After the election.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and I'd have to look at because I saw that in your notes. I think that, and I have to reread that policy, but I'm pretty sure it has to be done.
After.
Was it after or before, one of those days?
Yeah,
So
I
maybe.
thought that was maybe close.
Which one are you talking about? The
151.1. don't think we can pick officers until the May meeting.
The reorganization
Yeah.
of the, okay. Okay, which that one would be an easy fix.
That's it, yeah,
So that
that's
one
easy.
just,
I don't know if you guys can, I think it has to be done by a certain time.
Right, but it says it has to be after the fourth, you know, like if you can just get elected and it's how our meeting falls, I think, I don't know. I just, the
we
way
do it
I
right away.
thought it kind of read that we couldn't do that till
The end of the meeting?
the May meeting when we did it April this last time.
I think they have to be done by.
What was it, one-
We always did it, right?
151.1.
Lori, where does it say when we have to do that? I
When there was a
remember
new
that.
board,
Mr.
we did
Ernst
it
gets
right away.
a listing of
WASB.
the, things to do for an election and what has to be done
Okay.
at what
I don't know,
time.
there's just something made me think that we did it too fast, and maybe I wasn't reading it right either, but that was one thing I wanted to look at.
Can't do it too soon or too late then?
Yeah, it's very
Correct.
particular about when it is. It is a definite window, and I think when we took that second meeting away, it made me wonder.
Okay.
And
Well, we must have made it work this last year.
I
It
don't,
might have just fell just right.
It says the
though,
Board of
too.
Education shall hold an annual meeting on or within 30 days after the fourth Monday in April. The meeting shall be called to order by, that's not the right one, is it?
No, because
That's
annual meetings,
annual
isn't that what we
meeting.
just did in August?
No, that's annual reorganization.
151.1 should be reorganization.
Yep.
Is that- So if it's the fourth, before the fourth week, so if we do elections on Tuesday, our meeting's the next Monday, I don't think we can do it before the fourth week of April.
Yeah, this is the right one. So the Board of Education shall hold an annual reorganization meeting on or within, so it's got to be within the 30 days after the fourth Monday in April.
After the fourth Monday. So within the, after the 30 days after the fourth,
That would be the May meeting. then.
that would be the May meeting when we reorganize, not April. Is that right? Can you read that one more
Does it say it?
time?
Does it have to be after it?
That the Board of Education shall hold an annual reorganization meeting
At-
on or within 30 days after the fourth Monday.
So we can't do it until
So-
after the fourth Monday of April.
So what it's saying is in essence.
And then after the
May.
fourth Monday, it needs to be within 30 days of the fourth Monday.
Yeah.
So we can't do it in April, right after the elections.
And we did that.
And that's just, this is just a
Yeah,
reorganization.
yeah, so
okay.
that was just little things, but a lot
Yeah.
of my things, and I don't know the day-to-day meeting stuff, but it says there's a committee for this, or we get things approved by another person. We really need to make sure those things are happening like a medical person on like .001. Do we have a medical advisor that really does review that?
Oh, we did. That's an interesting one you picked, because that law just changed. So I'm working
Okay.
with Amory Hospital to get that person in line.
So it's just those little things that
But
if
that
we
we
say we're
do.
having a committee that
Yeah.
meets on this, or somebody that overlooks this, we need to really make sure
Try to do it that way.
that we're covered and that those things are being reviewed.
Sure.
So, I'm sorry, but back to the reorganization. So if we reorganize, okay, we have the election, and what happens if there's a number of us that aren't at the next meeting then, that aren't gonna be here?
But there should be at least, because we don't rotate everybody off, so somebody that was on it would still have to step up. Like, so if you two went off, the three of us would be on, and one of us would have to start the meeting and run it.
And run the meeting.
Just,
Oh, the April meeting.
Because you have to swear
May
the
meeting.
new individuals
to-
in.
oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
right, because the person would go off in April, but we can't do the new president to run the meeting until May.
Gotcha.
At the end of May.
But you
or at
swear
the end
the
of
new
May.
people in, I think, in that April meeting.
Yes.
Right, but we're not reorganized
Right.
Right.
at that one.
So they can't vote or anything in that April meeting, it's just you
Correct.
guys that can still vote.
Yep, we did it April 8th.
So we were too efficient.
So
That's the
is-
way we've always done it though.
Does the WASD?
Wait, it is.
Does
Wow.
does
I
the
think we usually on the second one, which which usually then falls okay with.
then follows, right, so it's when we went down to the one meeting that
Okay.
it,
Yeah, because that would have been the second and the fourth Mondays. We would have been right on the fourth Monday.
I think we did it in the second every time.
Right. Yeah, I think we did too. So is
Because
that
right after you got hired, that's when you.
So is the
After
W,
all.
does that reflect what the WASB?
Well, I can double check, but I would
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
So can we change it to right after the election, or isn't that something we can change?
I'm not sure if if it's, because WASB will be specific to Wisconsin, so I can
Yeah.
look and
Yeah.
see if that, and then we can decide.
some other things were just, I know there was some cell phone stuff, is it the same that we're seeing in our handbook, 5136?
Yeah, so, hang on one second.
Is there a student needs committee?
No.
So that's 6610. I think we need, that's one of them that I looked at.
66.
Now, does committee have to be formal, or can it be ad hoc as needed?
I think it depends on how the policy says.
What are you referring to?
6610, is there a count for needy students, is there a students need committee? Fifth line, I can't, first paragraph maybe? I can't read my notes. So I mean, some of these little things I can just go, I can stop in on a day I don't work or something.
Okay.
Those things, if just
Yeah.
if something comes up, I want to make sure we have them,
Right.
so somebody's saying, okay, now I can go after you because you're not.
Well, and is
Yeah.
committee mean, does that mean is the definition formal committee or ad hoc, meaning it's not a single person's decision? I mean, how are we using the term committee throughout those policies?
Yeah.
Do our cameras have monitoring signs saying that we are monitoring this building by video? Do we have those? I've just never seen those. Yep.
On the gym doors too.
Awesome.
Oh, we better start behaving ourselves.
Clearly never saw that sign.
It's like a technology governance committee, 7540 would be another one.
Would that be Bow Committee of One?
Which paragraph is that one?
I don't know.
7540.
Yep. 7,000's under property, 7540.
You don't happen to know where in the policy that one is?
No.
Okay.
Is it a long one?
It is. I mean, it's just not finalized, so all the stuff that
So
we.
it's 7540, not any of the points.
Technology policy? 7540?
7,000, yeah,
Yep.
7540. It must talk somewhere about a technology governance committee.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have a technology committee, yep.
Okay.
So we do.
So it's like those little things, just, I didn't know
Do
how
we
many
have
of
to
these were
spell
new.
out somewhere in our handbook who's on all of these committees?
It doesn't ever say that anywhere.
No, but on most of the stuff we document, like who was present on.
Okay,
if we
so you
meet.
have internal
Yeah.
documents that show meeting minutes.
I think DPI used to require a technology plan every year. I don't believe they do anymore, but, so we had been meeting and meeting in the library. Marcy kind of facilitated it, Meyer.
So, yeah, it's just those little things.
Okay. Any up?
And if you've seen my notes.
Yep, I have. Any up
Yeah.
for debate that you wanted to talk about?
Well, there was one cell phone while driving somewhere. 7530.
Cell phone while driving?
It says strongly
With kids,
discouraged.
I-
I think it should just say not allowed. I mean,
It was with a personal vehicle or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember reading that.
7530, use a cell phone or PCD while operating should say not allowed, not just strongly discouraged.
Are they saying strongly discouraged because
If you're the driver, you
But
should-
is it technically in Wisconsin, we're not hands-free. So can we state something that's more than
Yeah, it's our school board
traffic law?
policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to see what we did, because we made changes.
I think the other thing is, can you dictate what somebody does on their personal vehicle?
No,
on
this
their
is a school
personal time?
vehicle.
No, this is a school.
Property
okay,
van.
person, yeah.
This is school property.
Because there was two.
So if somebody
there was
has
one for
our
a personal
van, I
vehicle
don't
and
think they should
somebody-
be on the cell phone
Yeah.
while
Why don't
driving.
Yeah.
If they're having students, what are they doing on the phone? I mean,
Well, you'd be
there's-
surprised.
And I mean, Wisconsin's not there yet for no hands, but
Yeah.
I just don't.
I just didn't know if we could have policy stricter than state laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
And I don't know if they would say GPS, would they be using a cell phone as a GPS? Is that what it
Very
means by
likely.
PCD?
Do you know where in this policy where it says that, Nettie?
No, but I could. I haven't been in there for a while, I'll have to remember how to get in it. Do you have it up?
Yeah.
I can read it there. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. I work at little things all day. Let me just look when I go
Okay.
home. I mean, it's gotta be there somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought it said you couldn't, but.
Oh, you know what? You know why that's not all filled? Because this policy was deleted. This isn't a. This is a policy that we chose not to take. That's what it
Okay.
was. I'm sorry.
But isn't there not one where it doesn't say delete it?
Deleted. This one's staff use of personal device. This
I don't know.
one,
I'll have to go
7530.02. Is that the one you're referring to?
I don't know, let me go back and
Use of
dig.
personal communication devices.
It was specifically with driving. Right here.
Oh,
Using a cell phone or other
Yep.
PCD while operating a vehicle is strongly discouraged.
yeah.
But it doesn't say
Oh, yeah.
using a school vehicle. It just says while using while operating a vehicle. That's a little too vague.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that falls in under there then. It's under property, that's why it made me think they were using.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is
Are they
while
gonna-
using a district
Vehicle.
vehicle. Yeah. Please.
And is that
Then that needs more clarification because I didn't
Especially
get that.
strongly discouraged. I mean,
Usually use the term
But
strongly
if somebody got in an
discouraged.
accident and it just says strongly discouraged, they're gonna come back and say, why were you saying you can't use it at all in a vehicle?
right. Instead of saying.
I'm just thinking lawsuit
Yeah.
when I read that, if something happens.
Yeah, and I thought the opposite, usually use strongly discouraged when it's something you can't mandate. Because that's usually
Right.
the legal terminology that's up to this, you can say.
But if we, as a school board, say it's not allowed and they get an accident driving with one while they're on it, then we're not liable because they were breaking the school board policy. If we just strongly discourage and say they can't, and they get in an accident driving our vehicle, they can come against us.
I think the bigger point in this, though, is it seems a little too ambiguous as to what does vehicle mean.
Right.
Like the
yeah.
statement as you read it, I'm like,
Right, but
I
if you
didn't
read
get
the whole
this-
policy,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't get the
it's-
same thing.
It's a scrolling full page of stuff. So that's just one thing I thought, liability-wise, I would cover ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other?
I'm trying to remember this. I don't have the policy in front of me either. I'm trying to remember the discussion we kind of reviewed it too. Like, am I remembering it wrong? But did we differentiate? Like, if a driver were to pull off to the side of the road to make a phone call, like, were we worried that it was gonna prevent them from doing? I don't remember. I don't have the
Yeah.
policy in front of me.
I don't remember.
I think we all want to go back and reread that one, because
Yeah,
what did I
I'm
miss
trying to
the first
remember.
Right, so this may be something just to double look at or ask the attorneys, does that open us to anything?
Sure.
Well, we should have the levity to go ahead and change the words a little, consult with them to get some hands-free verbiage in there. Declare it so you guys can use the cell phones.
I know that's just all hard right now with different states
Yeah.
having different rules, but it's happening so much.
Well, and especially when your phone is your GPS for many of us.
Which is weird that paragraph doesn't specifically say district vehicles. It just says
See, and I
operating.
thought,
I know,
I could have
that's-
swore I read that. Because there was
But
two
it's
different,
talking
there was two
about
different guidelines
our
with your personal
property.
vehicle.
But is it
That whole
talking-
section is
Right.
school
But
property.
is it talking
Right.
about the vehicles, or also the property entails a cell phone, right? Is that the district's cell phone? Or do you guys
Yeah,
have
is that
your
what
own?
they're getting at with a district
You
cell
have your
phone?
own, so then that wouldn't apply.
It's safe and appropriate use of personal communication devices, including cell phones. And then that section says using a cell phone or other PCD while operating a vehicle is strongly discouraged. Employees should plan their work accordingly so that calls are placed, text messages, instant messages, emails, and read and or sent, and or the internet browsed either prior to traveling or while on rest breaks. In the interest of safety for both board employees and other drivers, employees are required to comply with all applicable laws while driving, including any laws that prohibit texting, using a cell phone or other PCD while driving.
So what they getting at is if we have a instructor or teacher responding to emails on their commute to and from.
No, like if the
school?
basketball team is driven by whoever, a coach or whatever, they shouldn't be on their cell phone while they're driving the team to
Yeah, I
state
didn't get that
tournaments.
from what he read. I was thinking your personal
it was
device, your personal vehicle, like.
No, because it's
are
all
we-
under the school property numbers. It's all, if
So
you
it's
put
gotta
it
be
in
school
the
property.
picture of where it's
Yeah.
at.
It's still not well written, because it should be a lot more clear
Well,
than
there's
that.
like 6 paragraphs before that too, so,
Yeah. We'll take a look at it and then get clarification.
or 10.
That was a long one.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them were just like, wow.
Somewhere one sentence.
We'll take a look at that one.
Yeah, some of them are just ongoing.
Any others, Maddie?
Okay, well then we'll move on to our superintendent notes. Mr. Joshua Ernst, Dr. Joshua.
All right. Well, it was a great first week of school. It was a short week, obviously, but I thought both buildings really, it was, we were right back in the swing of things. It was weird. It's always, weird feeling how, you're anticipating the year to begin and then all of a sudden it's here and it just feels like you never left and the kids are, back to doing their things and, transitioning throughout both buildings. So I thought elementary started out with a open house. Again, that's our third year doing it, and like we've already discussed it, that was a huge success again, and I think parents appreciate it. I think kids appreciate it, and our staff over there does a really nice job getting everything ready and prepared for everybody to come in. Then the day two, all the kids were in the building, and like I said, I have my last one's now in the district as well in kindergarten, and so it's been fun to have all of them 3 of them over there and then 1 over here now in this building, but it's nice to have all 4 of them in the district. And I thought the staff did a really nice job. We had a couple, hiccups with, some personal stuff with employees throughout the district and had to get some subs in place. But everybody, our subs do such a nice job, and I feel like it was throughout the whole elementary building. I thought everything ran very smoothly the first couple of days, so a huge thank you to that staff. And then this building, the junior high camp day, and then this building started right away that day 1. It was kind of calm the first day maybe, and then the volume now back to normal. I think throughout this building, but this building was quickly, like, things were back to normal. I thought very, very quickly in this building, and kids just go right back into their routines. The same kids are kind of walking laps with their buddies or friends or whoever, and then other kids are the same ones are down in the cafeteria eating, so they quickly know their routines are back in their routines. Elementary takes a little bit longer for those kids to figure out their own routines, I think, but it's nice, I know, from our perspective to have the kids back in the building, because that's why we're all here, and it's fun to interact with them and have them the district up and running. So the fall sports have been already up and at them for quite a while before the kids entered, but we had a couple events. The cross country team again is doing well, and the runners doing extremely well. It's our first year with junior high, so it's fun to see a couple of junior high kids participating in the cross country meets. I've gotten to go to a couple of those and watch those. Then we've also had a couple football games. Unfortunately, we had that close game on Friday and ended up losing, but it was a good game, and I think our kids are playing well. Upcoming things we have this week. Tomorrow we have volleyball against Northwood. That's home. Cross country at Cameron on Thursday. Picture day at the junior senior high here on the 12th on Thursday. Just an FYI, we have we're going to do some tornado drills and fire drills this week at both buildings. So at the elementary, Mr. Peterson is going to announce that so everybody's aware of it, and none of our new little ones get frightened. So we give them a heads up for the first, for sure for the first one. So we're doing a fire drill on Tuesday the 10th, and then a tornado drill on the 12th over at the elementary. So promised my wife that I'll be over at the elementary near the kindergarten classroom, so I'll be over there as well. Then we have the following week we have another volleyball home meet against Clayton on the 17th, and I think that's it for our meets, and then third Friday count on the 20th. So a couple sporting events and then some things happening, but really we're back at it, and we're in full swing. So it's been a good start to the year. That's all I have for that.
Good. Okay. Then the next item of business is a future agendas items. Does anybody have anything for next month's agenda? Easy crowd tonight. And then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.